Alright, so this question says, Paul and Sonia, who are married, had itemized deductions of $16,000 and $2,500 respectively during 2025. Paul suggests that they file separately. He will itemize his deductions from AGI, and she will claim the standard deduction. So Paul's suggestion is not correct if we look at individuals not eligible for standard deduction. A married individual filing a separate return where either spouse itemizes deductions is not eligible for the standard deduction. So either they both use the standard deduction or they both itemize. What should they do to ensure the maximum benefit? Well, the government kind of punishes you for not taking the standard deduction. So one thing that's broadly true is that you should take the standard deduction. So both should take standard deduction. And that's that problem. All right, so here's number 8, I think, on chapter 2. And I'm going to move the problem around so you can see it if you want to see it. Hopefully it shows up okay. This is all the info we're going to be using. All right. So let me just explain how these problems work real quick. So we're going to start with A. And Ellie is 15 and claimed as a dependent by her parents. She has $1,375 in dividend income and $3,200 in wages from a part-time job. Okay? So let's cross out that because that is called unearned income. Your dividend income is unearned. But the rule is, so for a dependent, they're always eligible for $1,350 or earned income plus $450. So in Ellie's case, she's $3,200 plus $450 or, and in this case, this is going to be $3,650, right? Obviously. And you just pick the greater of the two. So Ellie should have a standard deduction of $3,650. Okay, so let's erase this and see what we got. Perfect. All right. So B. Okay. So in this case, Ruby and Woody are married and file a joint tax return. Ruby is 66 and Woody is 69. Their taxable retirement income is $16,915. In this case, they're not dependents, so we don't have to do this. But what we do have to do, they're married and file a joint tax return. So we have to come over here. They're eligible for a basic standard deduction. So in 2025, married filing jointly is $30,000. That's your basic standard deduction. Okay? But a taxpayer who is age 65 or over or blind in 2025 qualifies for an additional standard deduction of $1,600. In this case, Woody and Ruby are over 65. So they both get this standard deduction, and they're married filing jointly right here. So $1,600 each. And that gives us a result of $33,200. Okay. Let's check our work. Okay. All right. So Shonda is next. Okay. Shonda is 68. Shonda is age 68 and single. She is claimed by her daughter as a dependent. Her earned income is $540 and her interest income is $695. We're not interested in her unearned income. We're interested in that $540. what was it, 450? Yeah. Well, you pick the bigger or the 2, so 1350 wins. Oops. 1350. Okay. So it says she's single and she's over 65, so she also gets that additional standard deduction. So if you're single, you get this $2,000 standard deduction. So $2,000. So you get, what is this? Is $3,350? Okay. That will be your standard deduction for this one. I thought I did this already. Yeah, $33,200 and $3,350. All right, so Frazier, age 36, is married but is filing a separate return. His wife itemizes her deductions. The answer to this one is 0. And the reason why: individuals are not eligible for the standard deduction. A married individual filing a separate return where either spouse itemizes deductions is not eligible. The other condition is you're not a U.S. citizen, but Frazier is not eligible, so it's going to be 0. Okay. Just giving you a rundown again, and that's that. That's the question. All right, so this question says, Paul and Sonia, who are married, had itemized deductions of $16,000 and $2,500, respectively, during 2025. Paul suggests that they file separately. He will itemize his deductions from AGI, and she will claim the standard deduction. So Paul's suggestion is not correct. If we look at individuals not eligible for standard deduction, a married individual filing a separate return where either spouse itemizes deductions is not eligible for the standard deduction. So either they both use the standard deduction, or they both itemize. What should they do to ensure the maximum benefit? Well, the government kind of punishes you for not taking the standard deduction. So one thing that's broadly true is that you should take the standard deduction. So both should take standard deduction. And that's that. Okay, so now we're on the next problem in the Chapter 3 for federal income tax accounting. All right, so Aaron and Michelle, ages 40 and 41 respectively, are married and file a joint return. In addition to 4 dependent children, they have AGI of $125,000 and itemized deductions of $32,000. So first of all, they have. Let me make that a bit smaller. That's too small. Put it a little bigger. All right, so let's go 125. That's your AGI. All right, so your itemized deductions are going to be $32,000, and we got to compare that to our standardized deductions. So let's go ahead. Married and file the joint return. So that's $30,000. Okay, so your itemized deductions is going to win. So it's going to look like this: 125, and then you subtract 32. And that's going to equal 93. So first off, let's go. This is going to be itemized deductions because it's bigger. 125,000 is minus 32,000, and then as a result, it's 93,000. That's your taxable income. All right. Civil, age 40, is single and supports her dependent parents who live with her, as well as her grandfather, who is in a nursing home. She has AGI of $80,000 and itemized deductions of $8,000. All right, so she qualifies as head of household. So let's see, itemized deductions, $8K. Let's go ahead and find her head of household. For 2025, she's $22,500. Okay, so this one wins. It's going to be a standardized deduction. So let's go ahead. It's going to be AGI 80K minus your standard deduction of 22,500, and that's going to give you a result of 57,500. Okay, standardized deduction 22,500 and 57,500. Okay, next problem. Scott, age 49, is a surviving spouse. His household includes 2 unmarried stepsons who qualify as his dependents. He has AGI of 76,800 and itemized deductions of 10,100. So this guy is a surviving spouse. Hold on, let me write down this. 10,100. I know it's hard to see that, but it says 10,100. Let's see. He's a surviving spouse, so he gets an itemized deduction of 30K. Sorry, not itemized deduction. Standard deduction. All right, this one wins, so 76,800 minus 30K. Yeah, 46,800. All right, so standard deduction. And, I didn't mean that. 76,800 minus 30K equals 46,800. Okay, exactly like we said. Amelia, age 33, is an abandoned spouse who maintains a household for 3 dependent children. It might sound like she's an abandoned spouse, but actually, she's a head of household. So, let's see. Sorry about that. All right, so 10,6,800. 10,650, sorry. $22,500. All right, so let's go ahead and it's going to be a standard deduction first of all, and then let's go 58,000 minus 22,500, and that is equal to 35,500, I think. Okay, so that should be your answer is 22,500 and then 35,500. All right, so let's see. So now your AGI is 95,400. Okay. You have itemized deductions of 23,200. And let's see. This is going to be head of household, so 22,500 versus this one. This one wins itemized deduction, and then we just subtract 95,400 minus 22,500 is equal to 72,200. Okay, easy peasy. As long as you know what to do. As long as you have this chart here. Anyway, that's the answer.